So moving on to the data digest, guys. 281 realtors sound off on future of commissions in a HousingWire survey. More than 60% of agents and brokers surveyed said that the real estate industry should not change its compensation practices. This is a wild one. There's a lot of opinion in here. There's a lot of excerpts from people's survey responses, which I like. I want to go over a couple of them. I'll start. This is in response to the Seitzer Burnett commission lawsuit and the pending appeal that's going to come for a $1.8 billion lawsuit settlement. One of the very first quotes right out the gate. Unfortunately, the level of misunderstanding of how agents are paid and the underrated value of their service is out of control. There are more and more copycat lawsuits, and I believe the situation is far too difficult to control now. What a shame.
I wrote, what a mess. That's literally what I wrote. I just feel at this point, everyone's trying to get in, like, hey, they saw somebody, take lead and said, hey, this happened to me. And then it's so easy to everybody say, well, it happened to me too. Hey, it happened to me too. And then a whole neighborhood's like, hey, it happened to everybody here. Yeah. So I think it's a lot of, people getting in to see if they can get, a piece of the pie. But I mean, I think it's very interesting.
It's almost like selling real estate, right? Some people are like, hey, how many homes did you sell? Oh, what did you make? Oh, I want to become a realtor too.
Oh, you sued? Right? How much did you sue for?
Yeah.
How much did you get? I want to sue too.
In this case, I bought a home and I was represented by the realtor. What did the realtor make in commission? Oh, he made that much. He sold 5 properties. I made that much. Well, now the attorneys are looking in that same way. Oh, well, wait a minute.
Oh, but wait for this. I got a counter argument to that one.
So here's the thing. Most agents and brokers anonymously told HousingWire in this survey that they don't expect the verdict to be overturned, which means then, to your point, this sets a precedent. This absolutely sets a precedent that in these types of commission-based organizational sales agreements, it's all up for target.
Yeah.
I don't care. Again, I've said this on 2 shows in a row. I don't care if you're buying a Rolex, you're buying a Ferrari, or you're buying a Honda Accord or whatever.
Yeah,
anything that's got commission baked in is up for grabs, honestly. I mean, now you can just go class action and everything.
Yeah, correct. And I mean, who allows all this to happen? Our own government, right?
Well, the rules,
the people in charge.
But here's the thing:
who do we really have to go by?
But here's the thing: you made this point a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Where are all the leaders? Where are all the leaders that were going to stand on this side? No, not the opinion.
There's 281.
No, I'm talking. Yeah, I'm talking. Remember you were talking about like the Gary Keller.
Of course, exactly.
Gary Keller goes stick his neck out there and like going to go. Okay, well he's named in the lawsuit, but like where's everybody else chiming in and saying like, hey, we got to do something here?
Do you think that kind of taints the industry even more? The fact that hey, everyone's quiet, so therefore if you're quiet, that means hey, you might be complicit. Taking a fault. Or you're kind of like, I don't know, like, if I talk, I might get rubbed into this. Like, I just feel like, if you have nothing to hide, you shouldn't hide.
But there isn't hiding. Lawrence, again, your point is that in the last article, Lawrence was just saying that the homeowners have benefited immensely from a wide-ranging variety of choices, including iBuying, discount brokerages, full service, and even getting rebates. So, like, what are they hiding behind, Brian? I don't know. I'm not arguing with you. I don't know what they're hiding behind.
I think this is, again, it's just new grounds, a lot of realtors aren't going out there. It's like, well, maybe it doesn't come to me, right? Maybe they're not going to knock on my door for this. It's their deal. I don't have time for that right now, etc. Now that this is kind of going and spreading, it's in New York. Now it's going to Texas. And they're actually getting now teams, groups, not just identifying a corporate company, but teams that felt like there was colluding involved, etc. So we're starting to see all this thing. Everybody's going after everyone. Yeah. So now I think I think there's going to be more realtors, bigger companies just becoming more vocal in these next months to come. And they have to.
Yeah, that's what I say. It has to, because if not, then the narrative is going to get controlled by the person that it's controlling the narrative and saying what's happening when nobody's like, standing up for themselves or for their industry.
And right after going on TV and talking about this $1.8 billion lawsuit, which, by the way, again, if we're going to talk about fixed pricing, the standard for that type of case is 30%. Last time I checked, guys, 30% is more than 6%. Yeah. By like what, 5-fold? Yes.
I mean, you're good in math. 1.8 at that 30%. What is that?
So here we go on the show live. I think that we should just rally everyone together and let's start a class action lawsuit against lawyers. Should we do that? Should we do that? Because apparently the gate has been thrown open, and out of all the lawsuits and all this, I mean, look, this is how silly it is. I'm obviously not being serious, but come on. That's exactly what is happening right here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
People should have a choice, and this is going to remove that choice, and here's what's going to happen. The cheap people are the cheaper people are going to give lower service or no service, and then the people who are kind of at that like 6% already, they're actually going to increase their fee. I guarantee you right now, people are going to increase their fee because they're going to. Well, there's no buyer's agents. I got to do more work now, so more's going to stay on my side of the fence. I guarantee you, it's not going to have this middle ground. It's going to split this way.
Yeah. You know, all this just gets, for me personally, my opinion, it just upsets me because we got, you know, first-time home buyers, we got veterans, they need assistance, and now what are we going to do for them? You know, especially when we have no representation. Like, come on, guys.
It's going to have to come
let's get real
back. Like,
here. This is just crazy.
Okay, so when's the VA going to step up and say something? Like, because the VA is either going to like roll over and have to keel to it, or they're going to actually have to say, hey, no, we can't do this. FHA is going to have to do this. So the lawsuit,
VA funded fee no more, and then now that goes towards the buyer's agent.
Yeah. But the lawsuit,
but they're not going to do that.
They're not going to do that. That's what funds the whole program.
Exactly.
The lawsuit might have been settled in court, but this is not done. The government is going to say something about this because it does affect things, even Fannie and Freddie. Because it ultimately affects what's financed, what's not financed.
Exactly.
And so this isn't going to go like untouched by these agencies before it actually gets all the way down to where we're at now. I think the really disappointing part is that it sets the precedent like we're talking about. And there's a lot of people disappointed, and there will be plenty of people that leave their real estate career because like, you know what, I don't want to do this. Part-timers maybe like, I don't want to do this anymore.
They already have.
Yeah, well, if they haven't already, they're going to.
It's just going to add to that.
But here's what I also caution is, for those of you who are still hanging on, but you're doing the right thing in your career, so not our audience in general, but like, audience, just give me a second. I'm talking to our realtor friends here. Yeah. Like, stick to it. Like, if you're going to be in this career and you're going to do this for the long term, stick to it. Do what you're supposed to do. Treat your current clients right. Promote and market the things and the services that will offer solutions to people in the market. We're doing it all the time for people anyways. If you want to be in this career, fully commit and do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just to piggyback off of that, I feel that if you give up, you're giving that, that market share to somebody else. So right now, the people that do stick it out, I feel you're gonna be okay. And what I think was kind of like a slap in the face that they put in this article was real estate professionals should be paid the same way accountants, lawyers, and other professionals do by the hour and by contract. One agent said, I bet you that agent doesn't close deals. But the main leading lawyer for this huge court case is taking a 30% cut from that.
Yeah.
So I mean, isn't that baked in?
Isn't it baked in? Yes, it is.
Baked in?
So it's not a $1.8 billion lawsuit.
Please, someone tell me, what is the difference
if you
between
win that? Do you go back to work? Like what do you do?
No, you get incentivized. You get incentivized to go get more. Go get more of those.
So you guys, that's $540 million. That could come off the top, but it won't.
That's it. I'm done.
Like,
I don't
you know
need to
what
go
I
get
mean?
more. I'm done.
So here's the thing. All these
so
professions,
hypocritical.
All these professions you're talking about, they're non-sales professions. Now, I'm not saying that if you have an accounting firm, you have to don't have to sell your service. I'm saying if you're an accountant, you don't have to sell the person. They need a service from you to do their accounting, do their taxes. And a lot of attorneys that work on retainer are, I'll say, selling their service, but that is by the hour. That is different than what we do in real estate, what you do in mortgage, what you do in car sales, what you do in furniture sales, what you do in watch sales. Again, what you do in boat sales, what you do in RV sales. Yeah. How many industries do you guys want to name?
We can keep going because you're 100% right.
I'll get another one. How about the people that make money based on shoe sales at Nordstrom's? That's the most famous example is people that work in Nordstrom's and they sell shoes. They get paid based off selling shoes. Yeah. The commission that they're paid is in the price that's on the shelf.
Yeah.
So are we going to just go after all that stuff too? Yes or no?
Well, you would have to if it's fair across the board, right?
I guess. I mean, yeah, someone's going to have to want to take that lawsuit.
Exactly. No, this is just crazy. You know,
have to be big
considering
enough,
that you're going to go drive a client, you're going to show the property, and you're not showing, on average, you show 50 properties. Okay. Then once you get in escrow, you negotiate for the buyer to make sure, because you have a lot of buyers. Well, that's it. That's $900,000. I don't want to offer $900,000. I'll offer $820. So then you have to go right there. Your negotiation comes into place. Then once you get in escrow, there's title. Well, you have to look at all that information as a buyer's agent. Then you have to get a home inspector in there. And then if there's plumbing issues that happen, because it happened, I have a transaction that there's plumbing issues, and now we have to negotiate that, get plumbers over there, get the listing agent to do the repairs, etc. Like, come on, this is proper representation. And now you just want to put pay them hourly or
how many hours is that? And if it takes 90 days on average for a transaction to happen, how many hours are you not spending with your buyer, working on your buyer's profile, working on everything? I don't think that model would math right because of the fact that you're going to pay some crazy amount either way, whether you skin it this way, the hours.
It doesn't, and it also assumes that you're only working one person at a time, which is not true.
Well, there you go. So now you have multiple hours that get paid
so,
to you by multiple
so
people.
let's just take a random survey of the three of us. Okay, Memo, if you were to guess right now how many people you have pre-qualified but have not yet bought a house in 2023, is it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60? Stop me whenever.
Yeah.
How
keep
many?
going. Just keep going.
Let's just say, okay, 100, is that fair? Let's say
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
pre-qualified
Exactly.
eight people a month. Okay,
Yeah.
let's say you pre-qualified 100 people who still have not yet gotten into escrow. That's not one a month. That's 8.3 a month.
Yeah.
So that's 100 people that you're going to get paid hourly for.
Yeah.
So if you're getting paid $50 an hour for each of those, you're basically making some sort of the equivalent of what it would be to close the loans.
You know what?
Now,
I'm gonna go to McDonald's.
then here's no. Here's the other thing.
No, please.
Here's the other thing
$20.
is that there's this idea that not every transaction takes 40 hours. That's true. Some of them take twice as much. Some of them take 3 times as much. Some of them take a lot longer and money up front that you only recuperate when you close. And I'm also going to say this. Sometimes you do what's right for people up front. The deal doesn't work out, and you still stuck with
Absolutely.
the bill.
Oh, yeah.
And that bill isn't going to be paid by your hourly rate, whatever that hourly rate might be.
You know what? And this actually goes hand in hand with anything that you do.
Yeah.
You know, so again, I disagree with all of this.
It lacks a lot of foresight.
One thing that, I think will shed some light on that is that as a commission worker, you're incentivized to get the job done. You don't get compensated until
By showing up.
By showing up, clocking in, and doing tasks. You get compensated by either doing the service, getting them to the finish line, and getting the job done. And if you don't get paid.
That's right.
But if you're hourly, you could show up half-assed. You could just show up, not be there, but you're still getting compensated, right? So who's more incentivized to get the job done with passion, with commitment, because they know that if they don't, they're not going to get compensated.
That's right.
But either way, if you're an hourly, you're going to get compensated whether you get the job done or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
Who would you like to be working for you?
As we were talking about this, guys, I have a number of friends who are in financial planning, and there is a very loose and unspoken rule about management fees at 1% of AUM, assets under management. So if you want to talk about recurring fees year over year, which are not even transactional, there's a lot of money in that. And I'm not trying to take money out of people's pockets. Before you go in the comments like, oh, this guy's hating on financial. No, I'm not. They do a very valuable service to my grandmother, my parents, all of us.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if you're going to open up the door to one thing, you got to open it to all. And I think that this is a very, very dangerous precedent for every industry that has something that's percent connected to commissions and payouts relative to performance of the service and product.
Yeah. Well, I'm just curious to see what's going to happen next. All these other lawsuits are going in. It's just like who you hire. Who you hire is going to be very important in these next coming months. In this case, I think the first one was lost only because the person who was hired. In this case, that other attorney that we're saying that won the $1.8 million, it was a good attorney. The defense wasn't as good.
Hourly rate.
Right, hourly hour rate, and so or the 1%ers
or a salary like
legal
Stuffy.
Legal Zoom.
There you go.
Me.
So I think that's gonna raise eyebrows now and have that aha moment. Okay, now I'm gonna have to invest in a top person.
And here's what's funny. See what 30% gets you? $1.8 billion.
Yeah.
hey, I put $1 in if I get 5.
There it is, guys. So
good point, Will.
I don't know. I don't know. Again, I love this subject. I hate it.
There's also, I know this will be my last thought. There's also something to be said for your expertise. Okay. And there's an old parable about a plumber who goes and fixes a leak in the sink at this woman's house, and he's there for like 10 minutes, and he charges $350 for the part in the service, and he walks out the door. She's like, "Why am I paying you $350? You were here for 10 minutes." He goes, "No, I've been in this business for 30 years. You're paying me to know exactly what to do and how to fix it with a $10 part, but my experience and my expertise is what led me to do it for this price and be out of your way right away. Your leak is fixed. The bill's $350." So there's something to be said about that, because you can get the cheaper plumber, and they may not know what to do. They might cause other damage. And again, I'm not disparaging plumbers. I'm just using a metaphor, everybody.
Yeah.
And, there is a cost to you to go the cheap route. Just because something's cheaper does not mean it's better. Rarely is that the case.
There is that saying.
You get what you pay for.
That's it.
And I feel that if you're an agent and you know your value, you know your worth, you really have nothing to worry about. The market's going to adjust, so will you, and you'll keep doing business, and you'll find a way. And those who are, vulnerable or maybe scared about all this, then maybe it's time to really reevaluate your business and put yourself in a place of confidence so that these things don't scare you and you're like, I know my worth, I can continue to move forward.
Everyone who's going to be like cheering about this, like, oh, that's great, realtors made too much money. Good luck on your own, everybody.
Yeah. Oh man, this is great, man. It's just, it kind of goes back to when times are good, bad habits are formed.
That's right.
When things are bad, good
Good habits
habits.
are formed.
Yeah.